Oh yeah, he dances too. Hey everyone, this is Tiqqle, and we're back with another Mage video in Torghast. We're going to be looking at the last kind of review that we'll do of Mage before we do an overall review of all covenants for Mage. And this is for Necrolord. Necrolord, as you've probably seen in my other videos, if you want to check those out, check them down in the description below for the other classes, reviewing each individual covenant for each of the specs of those classes. Now, as we all know by now, that there are two abilities you get for joining a covenant that will be part of Shadowlands. Number one is the overall covenant ability. This is what Fleshcraft is, a 2-minute cooldown, a channel over 4 seconds that absorbs and builds a shield up to 20% of your health. If there's mobs around or dead players, you'll absorb even more, going towards 50%. We're not really sure, I don't know, at least me, you guys haven't told me too much about this yet, but I'm not really sure where this will kind of fit in terms of PvE and PvP. I could see it being good for tanks or off tanks, like I've mentioned before, but put it down in the comments below again. Now, the big ability that we're going to be checking out today is the Deathborn. This Deathborn ability is for mages. Now, it's across the mage spec. We'll go ahead and we'll switch between the different mage specs to show you how it changes. Right now, I'm Frost. We'll switch between all the other ones pretty soon. What does it say? Deathborn. Transform into a powerful skeletal mage for 20 seconds. It's a whoa, it's a 3-minute cooldown. All right, like I mentioned before, that there are 3-minuters, and that is kind of a very long cooldown, to be honest. Transform into a powerful skeletal mage for 20 seconds. While in the form of a skeletal mage, your Frostbolt, Fireball, and Arcane Blast hit up to 2 enemies nearby your target, and your spell damage is increased by 10%. Interesting. So it's giving you a damage buff. It's interesting they chose spell damage and not int. I think that's kind of interesting in itself. And the fact that you're going to basically be cleaving with this. Now, if you think about how mages usually work, Arcane Blast makes sense. It's going to cleave 2 additional, or up to 2 nearby enemies. Okay, so it's going to cleave. That makes sense. That's part of the main rotation. Fireball, I guess yeah, that's part of the main rotation. Frostbolt, main rotation. Yeah, so it kind of makes sense. It's going to be your core ability. And so I could see this kind of being useful in the Mythic Plus kind of play style. Now, in PvP, this does not seem that good, other than the fact that if the 10% spell damage is actually significant, then maybe. But let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and test it out. We'll switch between the different specs, and we're just going to go ahead and use it right away because we're in the tower. We're floor 1. We barely have any anima powers. You know, we have 1. So, all right, here we go. Ready? I guess I should just be able to use it. Oh, and now, okay. Okay, so it's just cleaving immediately. Yep, so everyone is casting 3 Frostbolts out. It's pretty cool. Now, does that give me more Fingers of Frost? It looks like maybe it does. That's actually kind of neat. Again, it's a 20-second cooldown. Wow, I am looking quite skeletal. My head's always kind of in a downward position, though. I couldn't even see my face. That's pretty cool, though. That's actually pretty neat, especially from a PvE perspective. I'm always going to be telling you the PvE and PvP perspectives. You're going to be doing PvE no matter what. You're definitely hopefully going to be doing some PvP too. But all right, cool. That was kind of nice. The Frostbolts being cleaved out there in a pack. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to Fire. I'll leave Arcane for last. Arcane has been my favorite mage spec this Shadowlands expansion, so we'll see how that goes. Let's go ahead and bring the abilities back onto the bar. Fleshcraft again. We'll pop it here. Oh, sucking the essence in. That's pretty cool. And then we got the Deathborn coming up soon. It looks like it's saying, yep, it's yelling at me to pick something. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and kill this mob, and then we'll get the next group. All right. We'll wait here for the 3-minute cooldown, which is kind of a long cooldown, and we'll then use Fire on this pack, and then I'll use Arcane on the next one. But guys, put down in the comments below what else you want me to test out, what else you want me to see. I'll be doing videos about comparing all the Covenant abilities for each class, but we have some testing to go before I get there. So, all right, we're back at it. Let's go ahead and use Deathborn. We're now a Fire Mage, so let's see how that affects this. Now, maybe it's going to give me even more crits. Remember, I have to cast it, and then I turn into that Skeletal Mage. Looking like a boss, dude. Now, it is cleaving. I don't... Okay, maybe it means that I can get 2 crits. If I hit 2 targets at once and they both crit, maybe it gives me an instant Pyroblast with no heating up. Yeah, this one, to me, feels less impactful, but... Yeah, that one felt a little bit different, mostly because I'm not building up the shards. I need to get those crits. And then if I hit 2 fireballs, 1 crits, 1 doesn't crit, does that wipe away my heating up? Now, that's going to require a little bit of testing, because that could be something that could actually make this not so good for Fire, if you know what I'm saying. Let me know down in the comments what you think about that for Fire, because that's pretty important to consider. Now, we'll do, if you guys want me to do a deeper dive video of testing that out, let me know. We're going to keep moving to Arcane. Arcane has been my favorite spec of Mage to play. Why? Because it does a ton of damage. Listen, it lost displacement, it lost double blink, but guess what? it's still kind of pumping, and without all those mobility, all that mobility, you still have things like, oh yeah, like Zico used on me in our duel, Mana Shield, which you can basically spam, and allows you to spam Prismatic Barrier and just never take damage. So I think Arcane's going to be the play going into Shadowlands, but let's go ahead and use this one more time as Arcane on the mobs. All right, let's go ahead and use the ability one more time. It's going to be on the Arcane Mage. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and get some mobs together. Remember, it's going to be Arcane Blast that's going to be now cleaving. So let's go ahead and move in here pretty deep. Let's go ahead and pop it. Arcane Blast is going to be cleaving. Now this should... let's go ahead and get rid of my orbs. This might mean that I get orbs faster. Nope, it does not. I'm just hitting... So maybe those secondary effects aren't actually contributing, but it is cleaving. A little bit hard to see. Let's go ahead and root. Yeah, but we're hitting multiple targets at once. It is pretty nice, to be honest. It's pretty nice. So, to be honest with you guys, I really like Arcane, again, for this. The fact that it's cleaving seems pretty good. It seems like it's only using... it's not doubling up the arcane charges that I get, which is a little sad. I don't know how it's working exactly with the Fingers of Frost or for the Pyroblast crits. To me, it sounds like maybe none of those things are affected by this. Worth a good old test. But with that being said, guys, I just want to do a quick video to show you what this looks like for the good old Necrolords for Mage, because I've been doing kind of videos for all the different classes as they become available in Torghast. So with that being said, guys, we'll see you on the stream, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day except for Sunday.